So, good morning, everybody. What we'll do whilst we're waiting for PK is if we could, just in the chat section to the right-hand side, if there's any really core questions or anything that you want to ask Peter, just start a bit of a log in the chat section and we can bring them up as we go. But what we'll do is have a bit of a free-for-all session. And the idea of getting PK in today was just to share a bit of a vibe with the crew and also, and really bring to light anything that might help you accelerate your business, or maybe things that might be blocking you as well, which might subconsciously be there. So Peter's got an epic story. She can run through that in a bit of detail. She can share how she did what she did by the age of 26, 27, and also where she's going now with Genius and the other really cool projects that she's got. I think
we're just going to need a few people to mute.
Yeah, we'll do that now.
Or you can go through like the execution.
One sec.
Myself.
Yeah, right. I think you're good. I'll unmute you.
We keep unmuting each other at the same time. Okay, good.
All right, we're sorted. All right, well, let's.
Okay, so what do you want me to talk about?
Let's rock and roll, PK. So what I reckon we could start with this morning for the crew is a little bit about your story when you started Isogenics, how you got involved. Also, early days, it took you like a year or 2 years before you kicked into it. What was that thing that really clicked for you and made you sort of, shake your hand with your upline and say, I've got this, I'm going to run this myself, I'm going to max out my business, regardless of what anyone else says. And then I'll bring up a couple other things along the way. Like we've had a bit of a vibe in the past in the group, and people have been talking about like where they've been positioned and things like that, and how that affects their business. And also just like some sort of like hacks about how you can really make the social enterprise work in their specific lives. So let's start there. Start with your story and let's kick into it.
So firstly, hello everybody, and thank you for sharing this time with me. I know it's very early if you're in Perth, not so early if you're on the other side, and I know you've got a big event in Melbourne coming up, so I appreciate you taking this time. It's the evening in the US where I am now. So thank you for sharing your time, and I just want to honor you for being here, because it's, every time I get on a call for Isogenics, it's crazy. I find myself saying very similar things, that it's a very exciting time. And I think that's because I get to see what most people don't get to see about Isogenics, and I know that it's always a very exciting time. And I get to see, I get to see when Jim, Kathy, and Eric, when there's like turbulence in the industry, how they handle everything. And I just think, I wish everybody could see this, and I wish everybody could just see the smooth train they are really on, and the real integrity in all of this that is really unmatched, truly unmatched. And Eric went to a CEO conference we all went to a CEO summit last week. I went with Eric as his wife, but he sat in a room with about 20 CEOs from the top network marketing companies in the world. And they all sat in a room for 2 full days, and they chatted with Peter Diamandis, who is works with Elon Musk. So obviously the profession understands where they need to go. 3D printing, artificial intelligence, they're right there. And Eric just sat there, and I went to dinner and I met with a couple of the people. And one thing that I was really pierced by was the fact, I just looked around, and these are really good companies, but there's still have that X factor that we have. And it's like, you can be a great company without soul, and Isogenics has the soul. And so I'm still learning constantly a lot of things about the company, and I'm very grateful that I get to watch it so intimately. But I just want to, before I carry on, just reassure you that you are definitely in the right place at the right time, still in the right place at the right time. It hasn't changed. It's never going to change. And the reason for that is because of the soul of the company. So my story, I'll just give it to you really quickly. I used the products as of September 2011, and I used them for about 11 months without doing anything. I just loved the products. I wasn't interested in network marketing. I got it drawn out for me, and it didn't make any sense. I thought, how on earth am I going to get a cycle? It's going to take me 9 enrollments to get a cycle, because we didn't have the President's Pack, and I didn't have my upline. My sponsor, Jo, was my best friend, and she started building this year. So she only started building this year. So when people say to me, well, I'm positioned here, or I don't have a sponsor, I don't have an upline, as you can tell, I don't have a lot of like crybabiness empathy for that, because I began at a time where no one in Australia knew what network marketing was, which you may say is a blessing. It was also tough. We didn't have a presence pack. So whenever I needed to get a cycle, I needed to enroll 9 people per cycle. I needed to enroll 9 people to get $54 back then. And I did it. And I didn't have anybody getting dropped underneath me. I was literally in the middle of nowhere. And I did it because I could still see it. That if I was going to work, I may as well work here, because I could see what was going to happen. I mean, if I'm going to work anywhere, if I'm going to go and be a personal trainer for $50 an hour, cool. But what's going to happen in 3 years? Is that $50 going to turn into $1 million? Probably not. So the fact that I had no one building, and my friend Jo, bless her, she came with me to like fairs and stuff, but she just wasn't in it. She was working for BHP, very successful. It wasn't her time to do network marketing. Now that the mining has had a turn, she is fully building in network marketing. And I'm like, girl, you have a maxed out fucking leg. Like, go and get executive so you can get my cycle match. Go. And she is so honest. She like cried to me at my wedding. And she was like, Peta, I don't feel like I deserve this, because you just built the whole leg. And I was like, you do deserve it, because you freaking enrolled me and you did your best and it wasn't your time. And now you have this big leg. Go and get to executive, please. So I just looked on Facebook today and she had this page and it says 8 weeks to wellness. And now she's fully building. She's so excited. She gets the vision 4 years after I did. So it's not about anything that's going on above. It's you down. And it doesn't mean that your upline isn't going to pour support into you, but it's you down. And if you're really relying on people above you to get motivated, then you just really don't want it. And I say that again, but you can't be motivated by anyone else but yourself, period. I don't believe in external motivation. I don't believe in it. I think you can go to events, you can hear nice things, you can get a little bit excited by these nice words and these nice insights and everything. But unless you are really like on board with the shit that you want and what excites you, none of it is going to move you. And I think we can all relate to that at times in our life where we've been superficially motivated, but then behind the scenes, we don't really want to work. And that sort of motivation doesn't work for this business. You've got to know and you've got to see that what this is going to do for your life is worth the work, even if no one around you is working. It's worth it. And that was what happened with me. You know, there was no one around anywhere in my age group, period. No one thought network. When I shared with my friends my Isogenics website, they thought I made Isogenics. Like, that's how clueless they were. They were like, did you create Isogenics? Is this your new product that you made? Like, no idea. Like, and then I started to talk about it and they were like, what do you mean? Like no one had a clue what a pyramid scheme was. Like, I had to actually teach them the negative connotations of a pyramid scheme, like, so that they could start teasing me about it, even though it wasn't one. But it was just so, nothing was going on there. But it's like I didn't have an example of any young person that had built a 6-figure business. I didn't have an example of anyone who retired their mom. It wasn't the motivation wasn't coming from anywhere but in here. And that's why when I've enrolled 400 something people, but how many no's I got? 4,500 at least. Every time I got that no, it just didn't matter because I could see so clearly. I could see so clearly that I had hit the jackpot with even finding myself in a place in the universe where this was presented to me. Like, that is the jackpot. And I wasn't going to let my position in the leg stop me from really reaping that jackpot, which I know is something that is going to fuel me the rest of my life. Like, why would I let these little things bite away at this fire that really could only be fueled by myself? So when people ask me how you're so motivated and all that stuff, is that I knew what I wanted with this. And I just didn't have time for whinging about where I was in the tree. Because the bottom line was I wasn't going to try and sit out for 6 months so I can enroll away from my friend. You know what I mean? I was happy. I knew it was for a reason. The universe doesn't make mistakes, period. I knew I was enrolled there for a reason. I knew I could do it. I mean, some people with a power leg do nothing. Whether you have a power leg or not, it doesn't matter. Whether you have the fire or not, that's what matters. Where you are in the tree is exactly where you are meant to be. That's exactly the lessons the universe wants you to learn. That's exactly the sort of fire you need to find in order to do it. And I still, to this day, after everything that's happened and whatever, I still at the top of my gratitudes list every day was not even just the fact Isagenix came, but thank God for the fact that I found the fire to do it. Like, thank God that I actually did it. And I would be beating myself up so much if I let my position in the tree, or if I let the people who didn't get it, or if I let the fact that for a lot of the time it was reliant on me to cast the vision. If I let any of that keep me down, I can't even imagine what my life would be like now. And so every single day I'm so grateful, like, thank God I found my freaking fire. And that's what I want you all to find, is your fire. It's not going to come from Rory. It's not going to come from anyone who gets on the stage. They're going to trickle some magic at you, and they're going to like get you to shift and see things a little bit differently. But if you don't have that, like, fuck, I get it, I'm going to do it, like, I can see my life in 2-3 years. If you don't have that, it's still just going to be superficial motivation. And that's why I just want you, regardless of where you're at, to just dig deep and ask yourself, like, why are you here? And is it painful for you to be still only 75% in? And if you are more than 75% in, great. But I take a guess, most people I speak to are 75% in. And it's because they haven't taken upon themselves to light the fire. They're still waiting for the next video. They're still waiting for the next tool. They're still waiting for this. And I'm telling you now, at the CEO conference, everybody was talking about Australia. And they were like, wow, we're all going to build in Australia now because Isagenix made network marketing in Australia big. And a lot of people are freaked out by that. And I personally am so stoked by that, because now it's not just us who is doing the educating on network marketing. I love that now network marketing is ever in Australia, because Isagenix still has the longest record. It still has the highest integrity. It still has the best products. It still has the best compensation plan. It still has the best corporate team. It has the most soul. It still has the most beautiful values. It still has a beautiful culture. And it doesn't matter what goes on around, because there's enough people in Australia for everybody. There's enough people in Australia to go into everyone's company. We don't need to worry about that. But people let this stuff take away from their fire, and then they just stay in the pain of 75%. And 75% is more painful than 0%. Like, it's like 75% is pain, because that 75% could be on something else. And just while I'm there, because I can feel people thinking, well, what if I have other stuff I want to do? That's fine. So if there's other stuff you want to do, I'm not reading the comments just yet because I get too distracted. If you have other stuff that you want to do at the same time, fine. I don't believe that you only have to do one thing at one time like this. I did that in my network marketing business. I didn't want to do anything else. I didn't have children. I didn't have anything else to do. I wanted to do this full time. I needed to. My goals required me to go that fast. Now when I mentor people, I say to them, if you don't want to go fast, don't. But just don't let your fire be at 75%. Of course you can have other ventures if you want to, if that feels good for you. Of course you can be working on the blog. Of course you can be going and running this retreat, whatever. It's not this or the highway. It's just make sure your fire and your alignment with this is at 100%, because anything less than that is painful, and you're not going to be the strong magnet, like the strong charged up magnet that you can be and that you are when you're aligned 100%. So, you know, people think that, oh, Isagenix has already hit its time, and I'm just like, giggle to myself. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, are you really kidding me? Like, think of your dreams and your goals, and think about, does anything outside of you really affect what this can do for you? Nothing does except you. The fact other companies are coming, it doesn't affect you. Like, nothing affects you except for whether or not you have the fire and the alignment or not. And like I said, you can still have fire and alignment for other things as well. It doesn't just have to be one thing. I have fire and alignment for a lot of things. But when I am present with one, I'm present with one. When I'm present with the other, I'm present with the other. I just want you all to know that it's still fucking exciting to be here right now. It's still the most incredible opportunity that it ever was. And the fact that we're mature now as a market should excite you more than anything.
Yeah. PK, that's just a show of hands of PK. Does anyone relate to any of that? One hand, two hands, anything coming up? Boom. PK, one question on that as well. Like, I know a couple of years into it, and you were saying like with your friend Joe, like 4 years into it. When was it? What was the thing for you where, you know, like the alignment just clicked and the fire just clicked, and you were just like, boom, I'm off?
Yeah, it was at Celebration 2012. I won a trip to Ice Derby, and I got the call when I was raging my face off in Ibiza for 8 days. And they called me and they were like, "You've won a trip to Ice Derby in Phoenix." And I was like, "Where the fuck is Phoenix?" And I was literally just like off my head the whole time. This was obviously before isogenics. This was like between my PhD and this was like my bender period. And I was like, I didn't even know. And all I'd been doing is sharing isogenics randomly with people who wanted it. I didn't know I was doing the business. And then I got to the trip, and I just went on my own, no friends. Saw Jen and John on the bus eating a bar, and I was like, oh, they must be in isogenics too, because I don't know anyone else who eats a bar. And I sat next to them when we got to the event, and I just saw it. I saw what I think a lot of us have now become sensitive, like desensitized to. Like when you see someone on stage who's lost that much weight and never been able to do it before by any other method, and when you see people on stage who have earned enough money so they can finally have a second baby, and you're seeing all these things, which to us is so normal, but is actually a miracle. Like the first time I saw that was my fire. I thought of my mom. I thought, okay, I can retire my mom. Holy shit, I can retire my mom. I thought, oh my God, I don't have to go and try and turn my PhD into something I don't want to do. Like, or why don't I just run a metabolism business? Why don't I just sit in a room and measure people's post-exercise oxygen consumption? That's a good idea. I realized I didn't have to do that when I saw this. And what I like to remind myself of, and what Kathy is really good at, she never, ever, ever lets any story in isogenics become anything less than a miracle. Because it is a miracle. It's always a miracle. But because in isogenics, we're so used to it, it's literally just like this. We forget that what this is doing is so amazing. And I'm vegan. If you look in my cupboard and you look what I put into my shakes every morning, I put extra Suzandra, I put maca, I get raw Guatemalan cacao. I still have a lot of things that I source from other places. I get vitamin raw greens. I get this crazy chlorella that's just like pretty much from God. And then I get like this stuff which is purely for dopamine. I mean, I have so much other stuff. And I still love isogenics and what it does for me and have it every single day, even though I still have all of this Amazonian herbs and all this crazy stuff. And then I think about the money and what's possible with the money. Like, I still every day am like, I am so grateful I just don't have to worry with all my visa costs and all the lawyer costs and all that stuff that's gone on the last year, being taxed in 2 countries at one time. It was like, I still just didn't have to worry about it. I still was paying my mom every week because I retired her, and I still didn't have to worry about it. And I think about, like, not everybody wants that. This is what I want you to get. Your goals have to feel really good for you, even with isogenics and without. So look at the bigger picture of what you want in your life. The bigger picture. Put everything in there that you want. Do you want this little small business over here? Do you want this company over here? How does it all fit together? Because people are always trying to keep it all separate, but it's just the one big circle. And when you can realize how it all fits together and it all just clicks, then your presence is going to really represent that, and people are going to come, and you're not going to have an issue. But when you're out of alignment, there's no point spending 6-8 hours a day working, because it's not going to work. And I truly believe that. The alignment has to come first, or nothing's going to work. You're just wasting time. You're wasting energy. So you have to get into alignment with how this is going to work and what your real goals are. Because my real goals were to go fast because I needed to. I didn't want to see my mom have to be in that much pain. Like, I remember being a baby. She didn't have one sick day. She had to go to work straight after she gave birth to me. She had no child support. She had my nana, who died when we were 15, was her only help. She had to get up at 4 a.m., drop us at nana's house if we were sick. She literally didn't buy herself new clothes. She slept on the couch at one point because we didn't have enough bedrooms in that house. She had a Fred Flintstone car that almost ran by foot, and she had to keep selling her car so that we could afford soccer boots. So when I looked at what this could do, I didn't have a choice in my head as to whether I could go fast or slow. That was aligned to me. I was a firecracker. I wanted to cast this vision for young people. So I had that in my fire, and had my mum in my fire, and I also had the fucking haters in my fire who were stalking me, and I ended up in the police station because of them. So I had all this fire that I wanted to go fast. And then, as you know, I eased back because that was my journey. But some people's journey is really slow. And do you know what I've heard? And I teach people this in traditional entrepreneurship all the time. Sometimes the faster you go, the more it actually costs you. And some people's journey is slow. But if it's slow, that's fine. At least just make it aligned. Because like you're not trying to get to a result of feeling good. Feeling good is the result. That's why you're doing Isogenics. That's why you're doing your ventures. That's why you're on this call. So don't wait until you hit 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star to feel good about this. You need to feel good now about this. That's how you're going to get to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 star. And guess what? You might stop at 3 star and be like, I'm so happy. But what I reminded, I did a Facebook Live for my top leaders yesterday, and one of them said to me, Peter, how do I stay focused when I'm comfortable with my income now? And the first thing I said was, would you be comfortable if it got cut in half? Because every entrepreneur needs to be thinking about that. That's entrepreneurial paranoia. It's very normal. And you have to think like that when you're an entrepreneur. I still think like that because you're choosing your own destiny in an economy, which is, but it's so empowering, you know? And the second thing I said to her was, what really lit you up when you started? Like really? And she was like, seeing people's results. And I was like, so does that change now that you're taken care of? And she said, no. And I said, well, then how on earth can you lose focus? Because when you started this to help other people get results, if you're taken care of now, great. It means now you can do things in a way that is just even more spacious and free, maybe an hour a day, maybe 30 minutes a day, maybe 3 hours of coffee shop hangouts. Like that's how you want this to feel. So good. And if your calendar is stressful right now, or it's not working for you right now, or this is just not feeling good right now, just stop and remember that you can't struggle your way to feeling good. You can't force your way to feeling good. You have to stop and feel good and then move on from there. Feeling good is the way. It's not the result. And I think that's the hugest thing that I've learned is that what's the point of doing anything if it's not feeling good? And even though this is hard work, yes, it is, it can still feel really good. And that's where you want to find the blend of, is my work matching what I want? And how does it feel really good? And for you, it might be that, Rory, just cut me off if you want to ask a question or anything.
No, you're right, keep going.
If you feel like you have other things which are being neglected because of this, and that's taking away from your fire and Isogenics, how can you make sure that everything else in your life is nourished so that when you are doing your 1 hour a day of Isogenics, whatever it is, that you are present and you have a fire? Because what I know is that everything that I do in my life, like I still see Isogenics as being a big part of the whole. So when I get on a call like this, I had to delete everything that was going on around me. I have my water bottle here because I want to be here in my fire. I don't want to be half in and being like, oh, God, I would rather be working on my book or something. It's like you make it work in the whole so that every single thing you're doing, you're feeling good about it.
Yeah, that's awesome, PK. And probably something as well for the group is, most Australians and most people have never actually run their own business, right? And I guess the cool thing about, starting your own enterprise, like what you've done with Genius and things like that, is, that's probably brought in a whole new world of things, right? Because you've got to create your own products, your own services, your own platforms, your own this, and like the amount of money you probably invest into that business is ridiculous, right? So what would you say for, people here who are now like leveraging like Isogenics as a business, right? So we'll flip it to a real business mindset. So social enterprise business, the product's done for you, the systems are done for you, everything is done for you. What would be your advice to like a newbie on this call, or even someone who's been in it for a while that still hasn't captured how to run their own business? What would be like a couple of takeaways for them as to how they can really rock at this?
Yeah, the first thing you got to realize is how simple this business model is. Because when I built like Genius and the New Way Live and everything, I don't profit from the New Way Live. Like my first New Way Live was 100% my personal income. And every lawyer I pay for is 100% my personal income. Every single endeavor, I'm still in the startup phase of that. It's all my personal income. I haven't taken a cent. My single sole income that comes to me as a person is Isogenics, 100%. So Isogenics allows me to invest in that without having to sell people shit they don't want, and without having to overprice this, and without having to make this and do this. And with me, not taking a single cent yet, because it's not about that for me like that. I don't have to be like desperate because I fucking built this. And I think that the first thing you want to understand is that this model is so freaking amazing. And I didn't realize how amazing it was until I went into traditional entrepreneurship, and I was like, I did this the wrong way round. Like, I mean, are you supposed to go to traditional entrepreneurship and then come into network marketing and be like, oh my God, I'm home. Like, I like doing things the hard way around, but I'm glad because I did Isogenics first, because now I really appreciate network marketing, especially Isogenics network marketing, because it is like the fucking caviar of network marketing, literally. But I would say that firstly, you need to realize that you are working for something bigger than yourself. So every time you think that you are not, every time you think that you're your own boss, think again, because you're not. And I think that's something important that everyone needs to know, because if I was working just for myself, I think a lot of the time I would want to be reading a book or making some random cacao shit, or like at a coffee shop sitting on some exposed brick chair. You know, like what I mean? But when I am thinking of my goals and my vision, what it is for me is that I'm not really working for myself. I'm working for this thing that has tapped me on the shoulder, and that makes it actually a lot easier for me to do. Maybe I don't want to do this day, but I ask my soul, do you really want to do it? Is it really part of this vision? Is it part of your purpose? Is it going to feel good really at the depths of it? And even if it's something that's a little challenging, my answer is always, yes, I want to do it. So I then move from, rather than being unmotivated and trying to get myself disciplined, I realize that I have this invisible boss, which is my vision, which is I call it the chief entity, which is really my boss. And then that helps me navigate everything. It helps me stay disciplined. So I think the first thing to understand is your discipline and your motivation. It has to come from you, but there is a super spiritual aspect to it. And I find that incredibly empowering for me, is that, like, you know, I knew when I was building Isogenics that I wasn't building for Peta Kelly. I was building for young people globally. And that's what kept me moving. And I realized that when I'm building Genius, I mean, I'm building Genius, so there's something's here when I'm dead. You know what I mean? And so, but if I was working for just Peter, I mean, to be honest with you, I'm incredibly introverted, and I like to just hide a lot of the time and just hug trees and read books and lie down with my dogs. And I know that my purpose, though, requires me to do shit that sometimes I don't want to do, but my soul does really want to do them. That's the difference. So number one is realize you're working for something bigger. Number two is get disciplined in a way that feels good. Like your discipline becomes your blisscipline, right? It feels good after a while. And I think that it's not so much time management, it's activity management. So it's not, I'm spending 4 hours a day on your business, because who cares about your 4 hours if you're scrolling Facebook and just commenting in Facebook groups the whole time? If you're spending an hour of really intentional time, so it's not time management, it's activity management. If you want to have an extra 2 hours a day to surf or whatever, great. Can you make the hour in the morning that you do more powerful and meaningful, so it's actually worth 6 hours? So it's not time management, it's activity management. So I think that's also really important for you to understand. And you know the things you need to be doing to build income.
Yeah, that's sick, PK. And again, just to show a hand, guys, any of that relate, just so we can give a bit of feedback to PK. Yep. Sweet. And probably a big question, PK, that's been coming up a fair bit is, and I'll tie in a couple of questions here, but Tully asked, if he could be in Jim and Kathy's back pocket, a bit like you are, what do you see as being the 1 and 5 year vision, and tie into that the UK launch as well, and what you sort of see there?
Yeah, so UK is super exciting. When me and Eric were there in London, we looked at the office and everything. It's really moving, and the thing that Isogenics has learned a lot recently is they're not just going to go willy-nilly into markets. It's very intentional, it's very meaningful, and it's very done very properly. And so the UK market, they've actually been working with a UK guy for a long time. He's just not just coming in now. They've been working for a long time. After the UK, they plan to go in. I can't say too much about it, but all I can say is get excited. After UK, they do plan to move into more of Europe. That's the benefit of going into the UK. and they are bringing dairy-free almost immediately into the UK because they recognize that as a huge part of the future. So there's new bars being formulated dairy-free. But I mean, I just want to talk about what I see with Eric and how, because he essentially is the future of the company. And I hear him speak with Jim and Kathy, and Jim Pierce, who's just freaking amazing. Travis Ogden. So I just wish you could understand. Earlier this year, 5 of the executive team that were here are no longer here. And we got a new executive team, Travis Ogden, who is like the greatest gift. Every single company, network marketing company, was after him. And at the CEO summit that Eric was just at, everybody said, you are so lucky you have Travis Ogden. He is just a freaking legend. So the executive team now is like next level aligned. It is just pure magic. And the conversations they are having are just so, I mean, I wish I could have a microphone. I obviously don't spend all day in the office, so I can't go in there. But what I know is that they're moving incredibly towards sustainability, changing packaging. They've already reduced their printing in the office in the last 2 months from 200,000 sheets of paper a month or something to 120. So they've got green bottles in their office where they walk around and have no plastic water in there anymore. They are there's just a whole bunch of stuff like that in terms of sustainability that is incredibly crucial to them. They are, I mean, there's so much other stuff that I just know I'm not allowed to say. But what I know, it's so exciting though. It's so exciting. Put it this way, here's another way to explain what's happening in Australia. When I come to do the New Way Live in Australia, Mac, who is the general manager of Australia, is bringing his 6 top people to come to my events because he knows that every conversation about the new way is a conversation Isagenix needs to be involved in. And to me, I didn't even tell them they needed to come. I didn't even ask them they needed to come, but they know that Isagenix is on that frontier where they don't care about being right or in their way. They care about being in the new way, and they care about evolving with the planet, and they care about being evolving as we need to evolve to stay ahead. And when I say stay ahead, I mean Eric was being mentored by Peter Diamandis the other week, and Peter Diamandis has spin on to space. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's not just we're ahead because we have this product which has this extra amount of MACA. It's like Isagenix is looking ahead to things that most companies are too scared to look at. But not that Isagenix is going to end up with a head office on the moon, but I mean, like, they're thinking of how, like, so many crazy shit. Like, when I went in the room, Peter Diamandis said, like, you better start delivering your products with drones that same day. So, like, and Eric's in the room. So if that gives you an idea as to what the leader of the company is exposing himself to, you should get pretty excited about it. But as for Jim and Kathy, I asked Kathy this week, she's back in Phoenix, can you do dinner one night this week? I can't do dinner any night this week. I'm on calls every night. Still. She's 64 and Jim is 70. And she's just obsessed with doing Zooms. I know she did one with you. She's obsessed with doing Zooms. And that's what they're all about, is moving forward in the new way in terms of the planet, in terms of making sure vegans are definitely catered for, in terms of a lot more charity work, especially globally. The alignment in their staff is just next level. Like, the change I've seen in the alignment in the staff is so powerful. There's just a couple of other little passion projects Eric's got going on in there, but it's just corporately, and this is probably something that you just should hear, is they are extending, they've got free casual dress every single day in the office now. So no corporate clothes required at all. The maternity leave extended paid, the time away with the family extended paid. And in the US, that's very important because it's really bad. And Isagenix is extending everything. And so the focus is really on quality of life, not just for the associates, but for corporate. And that's just important for you to hear, because they are, I mean, Jim and Kathy are just always, how can we put back? How can we make this conversation plan better? How can we take better care of our customer? How can we make sure we're just everything? Like, that's why Mac from Australia is now, America is now in Australia. Another exciting thing, so the UK is coming, opening next year. We don't have an exact date yet, but it was scheduled around May. I think they're still on track for that, but they do everything very they're doing everything very intentionally. But the UK will be very exciting. They are going to have dairy-free products because, as I spoke to Sharon about when I was there, was the biggest vegan scene I've ever been a part of in my life in London. And I know there's Ireland and Scotland who don't really give a shit about vegans, but whatever. Germany and those countries, they definitely do. So Eric and I will be also spending a lot more time in Australia in the next 5 years. So that's part of our personal plan, which means that Eric will have a little bit more of an influence on the Australian field. So that's super exciting. Everything is super exciting. And you know what? This year, the company has been through more challenges in terms of like being called to rise to the occasion. And I've never seen them band together and flourish so much and still come out on top. And that's just a real testament to the leadership at the core of this company. It's just fucking phenomenal. And I just want you all to know that you're in safe hands. And I wouldn't say that to you on a Zoom call if I didn't mean it.
No, that's awesome, PK. And I really appreciate that sort of vulnerability and honesty from that side of things. I think that's, something for me as well. Like the sustainability side of things has always been, in the back of my mind. I think it was the first question I asked Jim. I was like, you're serving this many people. What's the flow-on effect of that? How's that going to impact the world, right? And just to see that the consciousness is there and it's rising and it's actually been actioned that's phenomenal. Not just good products, not just well sourced, but that side of things is the ecological side is wicked, and that makes me feel like I'm in safe hands, and I'm sure that does for a lot of other people, especially the Margaret River girls. I can see you guys. Yeah. So
the initiative is called, Rory, just so you know that. So their whole initiative is called Green Today for Tomorrow.
Green Today for Tomorrow.
Every single person in the office has a water bottle saying Green Today for Tomorrow with a big tree, and they all have their name engraved on it. So every employee that comes into Isogenics gets that, and they know that this is the policy. Here's our goals for printing. And the actual packaging, it's a longer term thing, but it's definitely on their agenda.
Yeah, that's good to hear too. So let's maybe tie this off, PK, because there's a lot of information that's gone into everyone's heads this morning. But if the last 2-minute froth factor from PK, maybe something about the new way, maybe something about if you came into this business now as a newbie, what would really get you excited? What do you see? Where's this going for you?
Well, what gets me excited is the fact that the world is no longer about hustle. The world is about, I want to feel good and live beautifully. And this is the shift I've had. I just want to live and feel good. So what I think is exciting for me now in this is that you can do that. Isogenics doesn't want to burn you out. Isogenics is cheering for your freedom and your alignment. And, I think that if I had to realize that sooner, but my journey was perfect. I was happy. I went fast, perfect, amazing, great. Mom's retired, finally, great. But, I think now the exciting thing for you is that this can feel 50 times better for you right now than it does. And this, it's just that good. And if it's not feeling good for you right now, please make it feel good. And please don't think that anyone in Isogenics wants anything for you other than that it feels really fucking good. And it feels good for your family. And it just feels good. Because when it feels good, people flock to you. And when people flock to you, you have a big business. You know what I mean? So just feel good first. Don't neglect your other passions. Isogenics is fuel for your passions. That's what I've always seen. Isogenics pays me to be able to live my passions. That's what it's always been for me. And now I haven't got an Isogenics tattoo. I'm married to Eric. And still some of the time I'm saying, honey, I can't do that or whatever because I'm just working on this, which I'm so excited about. And he's like, awesome. And he's my husband. And he owns a company. You know what I mean? So it's like everybody at Isogenics just wants you to feel good. And I mean that. I maybe if it wouldn't be so creepy, I would record Jim and Kathy talking about it at dinner, but I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, that's sweet. PK, I just wanted to really honour you for taking the time to join us this morning. And I know people have got to get off into their working day and get busy, and you're busy too. So from me to you and from the whole team, just want to say thanks. And just quickly before you shoot off, if everyone could unmute themselves, and we'll start with Kim and your Margaret River crew. If you could just share one word with Peter about what this session meant to you, what would come up?
Alignment, I think.
Alignment?
Yeah, that's a good word.
Yeah. Who else you got? Mandy, what about yourself? Passion. Whoa, one sec. We might actually mute you girls because you're really loud. What about Andre and Bree and Tully? What comes up for you guys?
For me, it's just that whole picture. It's like that whole circle, you know, and the sustainability and like all the pieces of the puzzle. Like it's a big picture. And it feels so big to me, and I love it. Visionary.
Awesome.
Yeah, alignment.
Yeah.
Feeling good.
It's everything. It's everything. Oh my God. I wish I learned that 4 years ago.
And Corey, I can see you hiding there with your awesome fro.
Thanks. A visionary.
Visionary. Love it.
Oh, so sweet.
What about
This
Love
guy
It?
Yes, we know, man.
This is visionary.
Hello.
Lovies.
I feel like it's opening a few doors.
Probably fire for us, mate, or for me, getting that fire back in the belly.
Oh, hang on, Lovey. We'll go back to you, Tull Dog. We had someone else sneak in.
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Josh.
Hey.
I just wanted to say, like, just listening to you then, Peter, I feel like a few doors of the mind have opened up.
Good.
Yeah, very loosening up. I'm still sort of dipping my toes. I feel like my whole foot's in at the moment.
Oh, good. 1 foot. Woo! It's a start. It's a start. My foot was just in for a point. You know what I mean? I just love the products, and that was perfect for that amount of time. Like, there's no rules.
Yeah.
It has to feel good. If you're not 2 feet ready yet, don't force 2 feet ready yet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Back to you, Lovies.
Yeah, I just said fire, get the fire back in the belly. It's sort of, gone out a little bit lately, so get that back, which Melbourne will do that this weekend, no doubt.
Yeah, and congratulations on your Top Achievers trip.
Thank you very much.
Thanks heaps for your time, Peter. Yeah, I loved what you said about make your discipline your blissipin. I haven't heard that before. That's awesome.
Take it. Awesome.
And Blacker and Co.
Oh, it's so good to see your head.
I know.
It's back. Yeah, that was huge for me, and just permission to be yourself and have fun doing it, and where it fits in the bigger picture. It doesn't need to be everything, but it's an important piece for so many people. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Really, it was awesome. And a newie.
And a newbie.
That's probably a bit intense if you're new. You're probably like,
Yeah. Mind blown. Well, I've been to a couple of the chat. I'm Pom. Yeah. So it's quite exciting for me with the UK.
I just was hearing your accent. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah. So no, it's good. I'm excited to jump on board. And Talia's taken me to a few of the talks in Perth. So I've had some of the really inspiring, like, chat. And I've been a bit overwhelmed, but then I've kind of realised, well, everyone's saying the same thing, so there must be some truth behind it.
Yeah. It's our little secret. Now it's yours.
Awesome. Thanks, heaps.
Have a good weekend at the event. Oh, awesome.
What about Lockie and Joni? We'll just do a couple more. We'll get through everyone.
Thanks, Peter, for your time. For me, it was just, I think I really needed to hear about where I am on the leg and just really coming back to worrying about us and what we're doing. But so thanks for that. But also it was just a slice of heart. It was just really bringing it home and just trusting in Isogenics and what it brings. So thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. I love your eyebrows too.
Thank you.
I'm an eyebrows girl.
Lockie.
Oh, no, just very inspiring. Yeah. Fire's definitely been lit again. So, yeah, loved it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Lockie. Cool.
Is Butters there, or who's there for you, Butters?
I love how everybody has nicknames in Australia. No one has any in America. I miss them. Everyone's just called like John and Richard.
Thanks. Oh, here I am. Here am I. PK, that was amazing. Super loved the whole alignment thing, but
you know, I'm with all these people. And I just think we're all here together. We've got the same vision, but run your own race.
Yeah.
Be super content with where I am right now and just loving the whole feeling, the whole vision. Yeah.
Good.
Do it.
Good. Amazing.
All right, Fib. We just got 4 more. Fibs. Lay some, pour some love into PK. What's coming up?
Fib said he's on the train. Too loud to talk.
Got him.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Fib!
Yeah,
Happy birthday, Fibs.
And what about the superstar Tennille? She's rocking it.
Hey.
Hey guys, thanks PK, thanks so much. I think, I'm just in the bathroom so I'm echoing. I think my word would be reassured. So I feel like it's taken me a little while to, feel my way into it and ups and downs, but now I feel like I'm running a race and I'm going to run fast. So I just feel reassured, still in the right place at the right time.
Good. And remember, to run fast if it feels good, but don't...
that feels bloody good.
Good. Okay.
Yeah, thanks.
All right. Mama Gab.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we got you.
Oh, I feel a bit emotional actually, which isn't like me. I just want to say thank you. That's baby. That's had a bigger shift in me than the last 5 events, I think.
Oh.
So thank you.
My pleasure.
Awesome, Gab. And last one we'll do is Mel. How are you, Mel?
Hi. Good. How are you?
Good,
I took the dog for a walk while we did this. That was good. My biggest takeaway is just that you've got to be like all in. You've got to be feeling it. It's got to be right for you. You've got to be in the right mindset. And I think that when you are, other people can see that. And that if you believe in it and you're loving it, then they'll believe in you. So making sure that you're right within yourself
That's
first.
it.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's my biggest takeaway. That was good.
And some of you may need like a complete story reset around Isagenix. Like some of you may need to literally reset your story around it because your old story may actually not be working for you right now and you still have it. So you may just need to push reset and completely write your Isagenix story again from scratch, what it means to you, why you're here, how exciting it is, how you feel about it. Like you may just need a story reset.
Powerful, powerful. All right, PK, I'm gonna love and release your epicness. Also, just one thing for me, it's just alignment. That's it's just falling into that space, and it's always been part of the journey, and also respecting like our own journey, our own time. I think that's really cool and reassuring. So that's it for me. But guys, if you all want to take yourselves off mute, give her some love, and then we'll send you off.
Oh, Rory, I want to say something. Rory, thanks so much for having me on. You're the best. I love watching you lead, and I love how consistent and amazing you are. How you're navigating all of this with your people. It's amazing to watch. And I want to jump on again in the next couple months.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks, PK.
Bye, everybody.
Have a good
Oh, Rory, cheers.
Thanks, Ross.
All good, guys.
Happy birthday.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you all soon. Enjoy summer kickoff.
Where's